Canada. It is our vision to always look at what is it that we can do to bring opportunities to our people and all of that. Thank you, Jack, for that prayer. And I think we're just going to get straight. So today we're going to start talking about resumes, and we're going to walk you guys through on, in fact, some of the tips on resumes, okay, and all of that. And thereafter, we are going to start looking at individual, skills, and also how to make. Of course, there are several platforms that we think that if we place you on those platforms as freelancers, let's say maybe you are studying translation somewhere, or anything that you have seen, right? We like to get to discover the skills that you have at the moment, and to see how those skills can start earning you money, right, online. So that is the bigger goal of this entire movement. We may not be able to do everything here and in this 2-hour session, but for those who now want to pursue freelancing, all of that, they can get in touch with us, and of course we're really more than happy to discuss the terms and conditions, what it takes for us to help them, put them on platforms. Oh, my volume. Can I project it like maybe I should increase volume? Okay. Give me 1 second, please. All right. Of course, I can project it. Give me 1 second, okay? Yes, just that sometimes. Oops, okay. There you go.
Recording in progress.
We can also make this guy co-host. Perfect. Okay, I think I'm okay now. All right. Yes. So that is the bigger goal, and that is what we want to be able to achieve. That's why we came forth with this program. Thank you so much for calling me out of my volume. I really appreciate that. Yes, and we're going to start with Jack. Prof. Jack is one of our team members who is going to start walking you guys through on resume. And then Johnny will come in on what it takes to do some career planning and all of that. And then we're going to take questions. The goal at the end of this is that once we also work with you guys now, one-on-one, to start looking at what is it that you have at the moment, where are you in your career at the moment, and what can we do to help, right? And even if you cannot apply for jobs in the countries where you are, we want to be able to put you on platforms where you can advertise yourself, right? And, start making impact and all of that. So I think we're going to get started. Jack, if you are there, you have the go ahead. Please can get started now.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Screen sharing to screen. Okay. All right, I don't know if people can see my screen. Just a confirmation, please. Is my screen visible?
Super visible, very visible.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll be taking you guys through resume writing. And obviously, when we talk about resume, right? So what is actually a resume? A resume is a document that is basically coming as a function, or to market yourself. So this resume writing will act as a tool to market your own personal self, your skills, and what you've been able to do in front of any employer as a job seeker, right? So it is very important for you to know how to be able to draft your resume, to make it attractive, to carry the necessary strength that it deserves for you to be able to stand out in front of an employer or any hiring team. Because remember, any employment that comes in or any job opportunity that is out there, remember, you are not the only person seeking to have that job. We have other persons, and now uh we it's true that we have interviews, but then just your resume, your CV and everything will first of all count for you before even they might be calling you for an interview or something. But that's the reason why it is very important, it is crucial to be able to set up or maybe write an eye-catching resume that is actually going to stand out amongst other job seekers, right? Now, they say a resume, like like we see here, a resume is what is a marketing piece that presents you the best possible light. So it's not actually an application. Yes, it's just something like I just said earlier that is going to sell you out, will give you what you are best at, solutions that you can bring to the table to be able to foster the company you are seeking to work with to actually advance. So that's the reason why it's very important for you to look at at writing. I mean, a good resume. One, the most important thing, one of the importance about the resume is what it showcase your ability. You are able to showcase what you are able to do, right? So from the resume, you see the employer or the job seeker or the hiring team will be able to see what you're able to do, the abilities that you have when it comes to problem solving, I mean communication skills and in many other stuff with troubleshooting. So it's really important for you to consider uh, writing a powerful resume. Now, they say a resume is well designed, right? It has a number of things that you need to understand. One, it is going to paint a positive and a factual picture of you. Yes, giving you the best positive image that an employer is going to see and maybe get convinced to bring you on board to work with them. So it sets also a positive tone for the interview. You understand? So it gives you also a guideline for the interviewer to know exactly what to ask of you, because there in your resume you must have drafted certain skills, certain problem solving skills, and more or many other stuffs that uh, the employer is actually going to look at. So from your resume, it's going to give a guideline on what any interviewer is going to ask you. It gives influence. You understand? So influences others who approve the hiring. Now you see that whenever you are able to write an eye-catching or quality resume, it is really going to it is going to give no reason for the employer or the hiring team not to take you, not to bring you on board to work with you, because your resume is actually speaking a lot, and it is giving that positive vibe within within the hiring team or the employers or the interviewer. So it makes them to have that confidence to say, no, this man who has this resume is actually somebody we should be looking out for. So now we have 10 different steps to a good resume. So you need to pay attention to this. They are very, very important. Now, writing a resume does not just entail you to just generalize everything, writing as if you really don't know what you're doing. The very first thing you want to do is to be able to choose a job target. What are your skills? Do you have different maybe multiple skills? Now if you have multiple skills, you will not be seeking a job to work as a versatile person in any kind of in any aspect in environment. Now you will need to be able to get focused and decide that among the skills that I have, maybe if I'm looking for a job, what is my job target, right? Yes. What is my job objective? Or what is the job title that I want? For example, if you're a web designer, or maybe you work as a hotel or you have skills to work as a to work as a hotel manager, it's important, right? So you would not just go and you're looking forward to write a resume, calculating everything. So you need to focus on, say, a specific job target, so that when you are writing your resume, it should be focused on that, and let your resume speak of consistency and your focus on something, right? So writing also a resume, one, I've already spoken about the job target, selecting a good job target, and you focus on it to write your resume. So it's very important. So you also have to find out what skills are actually needed, what is the knowledge and the experience that are needed to do that job target that you're able to choose. You understand? So what are the basic skills? When you look at yourself, the skills that you have already, now, do you see the skills that you have as the best requirement for you targeting this job, the job target? If it is good to go, then you count that on. Now you also have to make a list of what, of your 3 or 4 strongest skills, abilities, knowledge that make you a good candidate for a particular target job that you actually looking for to grab. So it is also very important. Now, for each key skills, think of several accomplishments, right? You need to check your past work history to be able to know the specific skills that you have been able to perform well. Remember, with the skills that you have, if you don't have confidence in yourself, that means even for uh, uh, any job that you want to do, if you don't have confidence in what you want to do, I bet you will not produce the results. So first, you need to come out from acknowledging the fact that you have a skill in a particular sector. And when you have these skills, you believe that you have strong skills, you have the basic knowledge or the in-depth knowledge of a particular job target, which is being counted as your skills, right? And from there, it gives you that confidence to know that yes, with this one, I'll be able to build a good resume. And if through the resume I'm employed, I'll be able to deliver exactly what my resume has been talking about, or spoke about, maybe from the time that you were seeking for the job. Because it's not all about writing a resume. You're writing a resume because you have the skills, you have the ability, you have the competence. If you don't have the aptitude, you cannot. Resume writing is not just about bringing words together, forming a statement, and putting it on a piece of paper, and you're good to go. That's your resume. You need to actually prove yourself. That's the reason why we are putting this as a point to say that for each key skill, think of several accomplishments, right? Now, from your past work history that illustrates that skill, describe each accomplishment in a simple action statement that emphasize results. You need to prove the results. What have you been able to do, and what was the result? So it is very important to put this into consideration. Now, you also have to make a list of the primary jobs you have held in the past chronologically, right? You have to put it in a chronological order, include unpaid, even unpaid. Yes, you have to put them because that counts also as a skill. Yes, because even if it's an unpaid internship, maybe you've worked somewhere and you've not been paid. Remember, if you're not paid, you've been paid what with experience, and that counts a lot when it comes to resume writing. These are the basic things, the steps you need to consider when building your resume. Now you have to also make a list of your training and education that is related to what, to the new job you want. You understand? Now, making this list, once you want to get a particular job, you need to provide that relevance. What will be your relevance? That means your the value if you are actually employed in a particular company. That you need to make that known on your resume. It's very important. If they're actually taking you based on what you have been able to write on your resume. Why? Because they should be considering you to work with them, because you've been able to bring out specific facts and solution and problem solving solutions, right? To make sure that give them that confidence that if we get this man on board, if we get this lady on board, she's going to be of great impact to our organization, our company. So it's very important. Now you have to choose a resume format that fits your situation, either chronological or functional. Now, most of the times people use resume templates and they just choose specific resume templates that will not even work with that is does not have anything to align with what you need to really structure your resume, making a way that is going to be eye catching. You draft your things maybe from the most important to the less important, or you maybe can draft it chronologically in a way that is going to be eye catching. That means each point that is being read in your resume should give that feeling of an increased value, right? So somebody can get to your resume, read, say this, you were able to work in this place and you were able to have this experience, problem solving kind of. So the more they read, it gives them that feeling to say, no, this is the right person to work with. That is it. Now you have to arrange your action statement on your resume according to what the format you choose. All these falls to give your resume that power that 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 it deserves for you to stand out among other candidates. It is really important. So you'll be able to summarize your key points. You understand? At You need to summarize them in a particular way in which you wouldn't want to write your entire life on the resume. Yes, you'll be able to use keywords, key points in a way that when somebody falls on your resume, employers or hiring team falls on your resume, they'll be able to get the exact points that will be eye catching, will be very important without time wasting. Remember, these people, they don't really have time. So they don't want to get a resume that will provide a lot of history, reading one story from one left to the other. They just want those key points where you can just touch them at the exact center point where they will see your resume as the most important one to put aside and consider you. Those are one of the things you need to put into consideration. Now, you also want to get into this. Step one, you focus what you choose a particular job target. We already made mention of that because what we have people who have the hardest time finding a job. You understand? And they have this hardest time finding a job is what is for what reason? Why? Because they're insisting on writing a generic resume, right? That will list everything they have ever done. Remember, the hope of some employers is just to figure out what job would fit them. But employers won't have that time to be able to read at the entire to read your entire history that you've been able to write, that you have been able to do A, you do B, you do C, you do that. You have to focus on a particular job target, like we just mentioned from the start. What is it that you want? You hit the nail immediately when it's hot. You don't mix things around because those employers, they don't have time. They want to just know exactly what you can do and what is it that you bring, what has been your past experience, and in everything that you have to do specifically for the job target, what can you do. Now you need to okay, we already spoke about this. It's just the same. You need to find out the skills and experience that are being needed, right? So I just Ella mentioned it too. It's very important what to find the information in job ads. You can get these specific skills that are and experience that are being needed from job ads. You can also get in touch with employers of certain job or the set job description, or perhaps you can actually get also to say somebody that is already working in the field. Maybe you can get to the person, ask the person some certain questions, and from there you get a better answer to be able to know how to set your resume. So these are just options. Now you need to have also informational interviews is also one of the ways to be able to find out exactly what skills is a particular job requires. Visiting someone that already has maybe an experience in that state will be able to tell you about so many things when it comes to the job and the experience of the set target job. So, like I just earlier mentioned, you need to also talk about your strongest skills. List all of them on your resume. You list your strongest skills chronologically. Now, let's take for example, say you have taken a resume and the job target is a customer service representative, right? Now, you know that the basic skills at this level is going to be what? Is going to be verbal skills, because remember, as a customer service representative, be it maybe at the airport, be it say maybe in a public or private company, let's say hotel, you need to have that verbal communication skills. You understand? If it's say in a particular country, maybe that speaks French and English, I mean, having some sort of bilingualism at this level and know how to speak verbally, communicate the right way is going to make a lot of sense. So you know already that getting a job target as a customer service representative, one, what do you need? You need verbal skills. Now, do you have that? If you have it, put it on your resume. That's a list. Now, you also put problem solving, because working as a customer service representative, you are dealing with what? You are dealing with a lot of persons, a lot of personalities. You need to know how to manage your anger, because you will meet people that may annoy you, but then you need to know how to to bring out that skills of problem solving. Yes, because remember, putting this on your list is going to be eye catching for the company, and you also have to defend yourself, because that is what is being needed in each resume. That means these are the things that employers or the hiring team will obviously look out for. So once you know a particular job target, and you also have what? You have now a clue on the relevant skills that are needed for this particular job. It makes it much more easier for you to write your resume the perfect way and in the best manner that is going to be favorable for you as the candidate or the employee to be. So you also need to have computer skills. Yes, for you to work as a customer service, or you need to have these basic computer skills. You need to also have customer care skills. How do you handle your customers? These are the things that employers will be looking out for. If employers or hiring team wants to get somebody on board that will be a customer service representative, these are the skills they'll be looking out for. They'll be looking at the customer care skills. If you have the skills and you already have a clue that with this job target, if I if I put these skills together on my resume, is going to give me a go ahead. It's going to give me plus among other candidates, and I might get hired. So these are the things you need to put. So we take for example one. We have another job target like say department manager. Now you need to know that with the department manager, what are the relevant skills needed? You are getting into this question to be able to get the relevant skills that these employers or these interviewers will be looking out for, and that is what you want to put on your resume, because that is what they want. If you have a solution to a particular person's problem, once you table the solution, is going to solve the person's problem. So these interviewers, employee or hiring team, they are coming up with this job targets that you've actually searched for and you want to apply for. These are the skills that we'll be looking at: budgeting, financing, and planning skills, supervision and training skills. When you have this and you put them on your resume, it's a good to go. You get the point. So it is really, really important to be able to put. Different we have different types, so you need to put all of them. So step five, let's say you need to write an action statement, which is really important. Think about what problems existed in your workplace. For example, maybe your past job, any work environment where you've been able to work and gain experience. Now, what were the problems that existed there? what actions actually did you take to be able to resolve that problem? What were the beneficial results for your action? You get the point. All of these things go a long way to help you to know how you have to write these action steps on your resume, telling the employers, telling the hiring team that in your past work environment you've been able to get this, and using your problem solving skills you were able to resolve it, and you think that with this uh, job that you're actually applying for, you'll be able to bring that result by solving problems using the skills that you've had. Now that's an action statement that you're bringing. So you list, you write them down, you make sure that whenever these employers take your resume, they'll be able to know that no, this man has great potential and there's a need for us to get this man on board to work with us. So it's really important. Now you also have to increase the account base by 50% at two locations. Now, develop friendly, supportive relationship with coffee shops. Now, one, this is just an example, right? It's just an example of other job targets and the relevant skills that are actually needed for you to carve them out and be able to list on your resume. Now you have to assemble materials. All these things they fall together to build a good resume for you, so that you'll be able to stand out among others. So now also your resume you may decide to list what, as step 6 you list your past jobs. You may be able to list your most recent job first, then your earlier jobs. You include all the jobs. If you are young and you have a very little work experience, you may be able to decide to list them, or you include all jobs that show experience related to what, to your job objective. You're not just listing any kind of job. The job target that you have at hand. If you have ever worked in any other company, maybe you have any experience that is being, you have so many experience, but among the experience you have other experience that are related to what, to the job that you will actually have. These are the things that you bring together. You will not want to come and uh, 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 to you don't want to get employed, maybe you want to get employed maybe as a customer service representative, then you're putting your skills, your past skill as a farmer. That doesn't make sense. There's no correlation between you working as a customer service representative and the farming skills. So these are the things that you need to put into consideration. You are putting things that are related to the work experience, the job objective, the job target that you have. You also have to include all what you include unpaid jobs that will be able to help you to prove that what you have a skill, experience in this particular field, and your presence in this new company that you're willing to work with will be able to fill the gaps that are in the company, right? So you also have to omit jobs that were were very brief unless they are needed to show how you develop your skills. So you not just want to put any kind of mix out any kind of thing because you just want to make your resume look cumbersome. No, you want to put job experiences that are meaningful, right? That make sense. So if you are putting, let's say, a very brief job that you've been able to do in the past, it should be able to be a job that will show how you've been able to develop your skills. You understand? Or it is going to be is going to be a what? It's going to be a skill that, or experience that is actually going to what, to help the company, the current company that you're looking at to work with. That's the job target, or the job objective. So it is really very important. Now you need to do what? You also need to do what? To round up employment dates to years. You get the point? Now, for example, if you were able to work maybe say one, two companies with the same set skills, or maybe in a different skill, that has to do with what? Has to do with the job target that you're looking at. Maybe you just worked for say 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Now you always want to make it to round up, right? Let it be like 1 year, 1.5 year, so that they will know you've been able to work for a very long time. And if you have worked for a very long time with any set company, will maybe gain experience in a particular workplace, it gives you high experience. Because remember, where you work for a very long time, you build experience, you build confidence, and you build problem solving skills. Why? Because you have already mastered the field. Now with this on your resume, the employers hiring team will be able, the interviewers, they will be able to know that this man has this number of work experience. Therefore, he's a professional. He's not an amateur, he's not a beginner, right? So that's a plus on your resume. That's a plus on your resume. Now you need, now this is continuation of step 6 onto like what is being needed. You need to eliminate the earliest job. Go back only 10 to 15 years. Why? Now there's no need. Why are you going to eliminate earliest job, right? It is very important because listing jobs that you've been able to work till one, even 5, 10, 15 years, it makes a lot of sense. Do you know why? Sometimes let me not say it, but then sometimes when you know that sometimes when you uh, give a resume, they will always sometimes call that company to be able to know your strengths. Like prof last time, uh one of our students was employed even while still in training, and I bet you the employers were able to call prof. Yes, he explained that, I think that was a couple of months ago. They were able to call him to ask. And I think even with so many of our trainees, or let's say us, will be able to get jobs, and they will still call prof to really know if what is on your resume actually makes sense, and with your past work environment, how have you been handling things there? What is the impression that your former employers have with you? Those are the things that are very important. You need to put them into consideration. Now, if to say, if you did roughly the same kind of odd job, right, repeatedly, you could create your own job title and call yourself self-employed. You understand? Now remember, this self-employed as a part of what is going to be on resume. Well, there are so many people that do not have the skill to be self-employed, to build up say a small business for themselves. Now when they see you having these basic skills, they already know that you are somebody that if they bring you on board, you'll be able to actually produce a lot. You'll be able to contribute a lot, especially positively, towards the growth of their company or organization. So it's really important. Also, now let's take for example, now household repairman, self-employed. You get the point. Now you have customer reference available. Now childcare is a self-employed job. Now customer reference are also available on the request, right? Okay, so it's really what is very important. Now, if you are currently unemployed, it will help a lot to be able to find what an immediate short-term opportunity to get what some unpaid volunteer work experience. When you want to write a resume, it's not just all about bringing, I mean, the best resume that you can actually, okay, okay. Now, the best resume that you can actually bring for yourself is when you're actually speaking the truth. Remember, resume will not just end at that level. When you bring up a resume, they'll be able to read, they go through, maybe they get more interested, then they can call you for an interview. It all depends. They are going to talk about that interview is something different. Now, that's the reason why if you are currently unemployed, it's important, maybe you're pursuing a particular job target, then you can decide now to see, you can go maybe on a short internship, maybe just to get an experience, even if you're unpaid. You get, this is just to get a short-term opportunity that will give you what, will give you will give you that experience. So if you volunteer to work somewhere, remember you're working there while gaining experience. So even if you don't have that financial backings coming from where you're actually working, but it gives the experience, preferably in your line of work. Now it is going to be able to help you to mount your resume in a very strong way because you have experience in that field. This will look better than being unemployed because they'll say at least you're working here, you are giving a backup to say now this is where you're working on. It is important because you're gaining experience rather than saying you're currently unemployed. It doesn't make sense. Now, don't use words like volunteer. You understand? You can rename the category, it all depends. So you will not say that you've been able you will not say that you were able to work here as a volunteer. No, you just name it in a more categorical way and very important to make sense in the eyes or the ears of the interviewers, right? So that is it. Okay, let's say, okay, step 7. All right, I think we'll end for here. Yes, we'll end at this point, right? So that is that about building a resume. So putting all these things in order, right, will be able to help you to build the best resume. Remember, building resume is making you to stand out amongst others. You are looking at a target job, a specific job. You are not you are not the only job seeker. You are not the only person applying for this job. This job might have, say, 100 persons that have applied, 500 persons that have applied. And now, what is going to attract the employers first is going to be your resume. And that's the reason why you need to put these things into consideration to be able to list out and bring out the best in writing a resume that is actually going to help you. So I'm going to end here so that uh, my co-presenters can continue with other aspects. So thank you guys so much for your kind attention. Prof, in case you're talking, just know that
Yeah,
we
me,
can't
I'm here.
hear you.